some Ogoni persons, particularly elders and women, are strongly opposing the planned resumption of oil production in Ogoniland. They are demanding compensation for decades of environmental damage and calling for dialogue with the federal government. The women, represented by a coalition of 17 Ogoni women group, are concerned that the government's plan to resume oil extraction will exacerbate the existing ecological damage and also social injustice in the region. They are seeking justice for the countless families who lost their lives and livelihood and properties due to oil-related conflicts. Specifically, the Ogoni people are demanding 1. Environmental restoration, that's the cleanup of polluted sites and restoration of the damaged ecosystem. Number 2, compensation payment for the losses suffered by the Ogoni people due to oil extraction. And there's also the issue of dialogue, which of course includes inclusive and meaningful consultation with the Ogoni people before any decision is made on oil production. And there's also justice in the areas of accountability for the human rights abuses and environmental damage caused by oil companies and government agencies. The Ogoni people's concerns are rooted in their traumatic experiences with oil extraction, which has led to widespread pollution, poverty, and human rights abuses. Their demands for compensation, dialogue, and environmental restoration are crucial towards addressing these historical issues. Now, let's listen to what some notable individuals have said on this matter.
This administration, being led by the President Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is taking this issue of Ogoni serious. Honestly, we want to assure you here that as a government, we will do everything within our power to make sure that you succeed as the minister who is overseeing this affair now, and also for our people to have a better life within
to inspect some of the projects of high prep and at the same time to commission some water project in around the Ogoni area, sir. And I want to start. The project is going very well now, but when we met it, there were a number of problems, Your Excellency. The problem include the fact that there were a lot of issues around the acceptance of the project by the community that the project is meant for. And that's one area where we've been trying to engage in community involvement, in trying to make the people believe that this project is their own. The ownership of the project is very important, Your Excellency. I've had a lot of engagement. I've had a lot of town hall meetings with the people to let them accept the fact that this project is their own project, not anyone's project. And what we have started doing, which is differently what was being done before, is that we are planning with along with them. We are planning with the people rather than planning for them. So we are trying to get them as much involved in the project as much as we can do. So that's what we have been trying to do.
Dighi Mathew, National President for the Indigenous Youth Council of Ogoni People, joins me on the program. I'm also joined by Bedford Berefa as the spokesperson for the Ijaw Youth Council Worldwide. He also joins virtually from Bayelsa State. Gentlemen, thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
I'm grateful once more.
Okay, great. Let me start with you, Dighi Mathews. I mean, we just played a sound on tape of the reaction of the governor of Rivers State to this development of resuming oil extraction. I mean, both of you gentlemen are strong members of that region. Starting with you, Dighi Mathews, what do you make of the idea of resuming oil extraction? Is it well received, knowing the fact that you represent a strong youth movement?
Yeah, I think, let me start this way. Hello?
I'm with you.
Okay, let me start this way. Just like what we normally say, it's not bad for resuming oil in Ogoniland. And the most important thing I am looking forward is that they should be extremely be careful and then have this transparent spirit in respect of what has happened in Ogoniland. And you know, Ogoni has suffered so much. But just like what I really know, we accept the oil resumption in Ogoni, but before such thing will go on, there must be a compensation, there must be a serious consultation, and there was a demand by the Ogoni people earlier before now that result to what we were agitating for over 35 years today, and that agenda or that bill of right, let me clearly, already be presented to the federal government. So I'm really happy for after 35 years today, they are coming up to say oil resumption in the law. It's real. We accepted it. We really appreciate it. But there must be a process that would drive such shit to happen in the Ogoniland.
So are you saying that the process is not being followed? Or what process are you referring to exactly?
Yeah, the process we are talking about is that in Ogoni, there is a system already existing in Ogoni that results for this demand, which is the movement for the survival of the Ogoni people. And there are also a bill of rights, which is our demand to the federal government, which we presented to the federal government. So they should look all those items that already be presented to them, and then come to a roundtable talk and say this what we can do, and this what we can able to not to do, so that we can able to have our sense of belonging in respect of what they have come today after 35 years for resumption of oil.
All right, let me leave you for a moment, and let me, of course, bring in Berefa into the conversation. What's your take on the idea of resuming all exploration and even production in Ogoniland? Is it a welcome development by you?
Well, of course, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Kudos to the Ogoni people for over 35 years of agitating, waging war, verbal war, and also constitutional war against the federal government to say that our ecological system is being bastardized, polluted, and thereby we demand an urgent cleanup. That has been the issue for over 35 years that had led to the Ogoni death of several sons and daughters of Ogoniland, by extension, the Niger Deltans. And also, it's not only Ogoni that suffered these feats, but however, they held the bull by the horn and demanded justice. For me, justice has not been done so far after 35 years. So it's too quick to now say, the end point is oil exploration. The needed amelioration, the needed cleanup that needed to be done should be done. That is the status quo. There's a precept, there's a precision, there's prescription. You don't the end point is cure. However, the prescription must be followed. The total cleanup of Ogoni, by extension the Niger Delta, and also the psychological cleanup, the mind cleanup. Characters have been assassinated. There is a perception naturally, and that needs to be upgraded, as it were. There need to be, character developmental projects that must be carried on before you are talking about, there is an ecologically raped environment. Just recently, even the Buguma situation, you could see, I went to that place for the next 50 years, it will be very difficult for that place to be arable. And now you are talking about, oil exploration again. The bottom line is the needed thing must be done. The needed, engagement must be done. The needed attention must be given. And practical cleanup. Let it be practical, let it be seen by all. The cleanup of the entire Niger Delta region must be done. Recently, even somewhere in one Ijaw community, a woman drowned her daughter in a bid of being angry. That is a result of the oil pollution, and the oil pollution has bastardized the environment, so it has affected our social economic life. They are talking about there's an urgent need for social economic revival. There's an urgent need for flora and fauna revival and urgent cleanup. That is the demand, and that demand must be met before talking about exploration. The exploration is the end point. So just that also question for the federal government to directly say, let us explore, let us resume exploration. It tells the level of insincerity, perceived insincerity or alleged insincerity, because the needed templates has not been followed before talking about.
I'm going to come in here. When you started talking, you said justice is still hanging. justice has not been served after 35 years. I would like you to break this down. What are you referring to, sir?
I'm referring to the environment. The reason for the stoppage of oil exploration in Ogoniland was as a result of pollution, was as a result of ecological bankruptcy, was as a result of genocide, environmental genocide. And that is the agenda. The cleanup of that environment, that by extension the entire Niger Delta, the Ijaw areas, is the justice that we are talking about. The justice is, for over 35 years, the back and forth of we will clean, we will IPREP and no IPREP, the back and forth movement has lingered for over 35 years. Let us see practical action. Action should be taken for the entire cleanup of the Niger Delta. People know that justice has been done. The demand of the people, the cry of the people for environmental injustice is now served. Justice is now done. That's why we can now talk about exploration. The Ijaw people, we are still very keenly consulting and watching, because this step that I think we have taken also drastic step that led to blowing up of pipelines and all of that. But however, we know that approach was has not even bettered any form of solution. So we are saying the cleanup of the Niger Delta is the solution. Is the first point of call. The cleanup of the entire Niger Delta, the Ogoniland, is the justice that we are demanding. Okay,
I mean, talking about cleanup, I'm going to stay with you a bit. I mean, we've seen over the years where government and even, private agencies and corporations have made attempt at voting monies in that regard. We've seen, for instance, Shell Petroleum Development Company, making some financial commitments. For instance, the SPDC, joint venture deposited about $170 million into an escrow account to fund hydrocarbon pollution, remediation project, as far back as 2018, and quite a couple of other initiatives like that. So, I mean, these are efforts in the past to sort of revive the environment. So could it be as a result of misappropriation of fund, or what is going on? The rumored environmental cleanup and inauguration of IPREP has become a conduit pipe in which they have used as a corrupt loophole to loot taxpayers' money. For over the years, that's why I say the back and forth of cleanup and no cleanup. So you are saying the impact. You are saying, sorry, just to get you correctly, you are saying the impact of that initiative, that's HiPrep, isn't felt. It's not like it's not there, because you use the word rumored. It's not felt. It's not felt. Do you? I mean, there's no clean. Okay, you said it's not felt. But not like it's not there. With all authority, with all sincerity, quote me, it's not felt. The cleanup is not done. The environment is still genocidal. Are there specific individuals you feel should be held accountable for this? Number one, those persons that have voted, those persons that are given the responsibility, to manage that fund should be probed, must be probed. Let them come and explain to Nigerians. Let them come and explain to Niger Deltans how far and how well have they cleaned up the environment. How well have they engaged the people? Because you cannot conduct a cleanup where the critical stakeholders of that environment are not well captured, are not well up to speed. Like I told you, there's a psychological effect, there's a psychological damage that's already been done. You can't talk about cleanup of an environment where you have not cleaned up the mind of those people that have been polluted. Like I said, the effect of those oil pollution has given birth to several mental situations. All right. Psychosclerosis, there are so many psychological situations. Let me leave you for a moment, Berefa. Let me leave you for a moment and let me go to, of course, Dighi Mathew on this one. Berefa said quite a number of things. I would like your reaction, particularly to the areas of the cleanup. He said justice is still hanging. Justice has not been done, particularly to the environment. Do you also share this point of view? And do you think that in terms of the funds that have been allocated towards maybe cleanup in the past, some individuals need to be held to account?
Yeah, perfectly is true. What my brother, my friend, my comrade just said right now, perfectly is true. And I'm from that area, particularly I'm from Kenya, oil producing community in Ogoniland. As I'm talking to you, there was serious protest in the site, sites where they were trying to do the remediation. And I tried to see, particularly myself, as an Ogoni son, I'm not happy in the situation of what is happening in Ogoni on that environmental issue. I'm not really happy on that. And I would like my brother as a Ijaw Youth Spokesperson and other ethnic youth leaders, let's make a tour in Ogoniland to sit in by ourselves, because Ogoni is a case study on environmental issue in the entire Niger Delta and Nigeria and Africa at large. So my own view, I have said this several times, that what is happening in Ogoni is another genocide that is happening right now on environmental degradation. And then the federal government is not taking a good responsible for what is happening in Ogoni right now on environmental issue. And then it's very painful and bad in a situation like this. But our cry and our voice have been going out several times and let them to understand. Like for instance, if you come to my village, where they prove or where they claim that already commissioned the water, people are taking there, absolutely nothing is happening there. No water, no light, nothing. So it's just like what Ken said before he was signed. He said environment is the first right of a man, that without a safe environment, man cannot live to claim any other right, whether political or social or economic. For me, I'm really thinking that what the federal government is doing, they're still repeating what they've done to the Ogoni people for 35 years, but they're using another method to destroy that situation. Look at the so-called cleanup. I can convince you and I can tell you categorically here that even the Ogoni people are not feeling the impact of so-called cleanup they are doing in Ogoniland. As I already said it clearly to all of us here, that name called IPREP was Ogoni Environmental Restoration Authority. And you are working on IPREP platform or template, but come to the Ogoniland, you cannot see anything happening in the Ogoniland, nothing.
So it's a situation of maybe, okay, so are you suggesting it's a situation of maybe some individuals are not using the monies for what it's meant to be used for? Maybe they're embezzling it. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Just like some of them who are also members of that board, suddenly some time ago, they were still lamenting that the resources have been given was not given in the proper way, and they were still saying something inside what they are going through. And it's very painful. Look at the environment. I said it here categorically that my brother, which I already said, I have the same vision I have. I'm proud of him. We can take a tour in Ogoniland from all those areas they claim. This is 13 years now. You are talking about the environmental cleanup you are doing in Ogoniland. This is 13 years now. You know?
All right.
And let's come to Ogoniland and see things by ourselves. I said my own village, Baya, is an oil community in Ogoniland. I can take you down there. Every work was shut down by the youth of that community, which I come from that place. You understand? So if they are claiming, or if federal government is coming like the Minister of Environment coming to Ogoni every day, commission this, commission that, it's absolutely madness. Absolutely madness. I can tell you without fear or threat. So I am appealing to federal government. It's not about the Ogoni people. It's not about the Nigeria too, because this is the first time in its kind that environmental impact assessment study was done by UNEP, which Ogoni was a case study. So if they are thinking they are taking Ogoni for granted, well, it's also left for them. But I can assure you, sooner than later, they will call those who's involved in that money laundering or money distribution unaccountable to give account of what they have done in Ogoniland. Sooner than later, the youth will take responsible of that.
All right, just before we, leave this particular topic and switch gears, I want to come back to you, Mr. Berefa. Now, let's also talk about the youth involvement in all of this. There's the issue, disturbing issue of oil bunkering, in these areas where the federal government over time has identified as a major problem. Maybe I should still stay with you on this, Dighi Mathew. The issue of the youth involvement in all of this, particularly when it comes to areas of oil bunkering. How do you think this can be resolved?
I think the youth did not, you see, when you are a father and you are not sincere to your children or to your son, it will lead them to a different attitude you will never believe. That what I think is happening in the Niger Delta and what is happening to the youth right now on that bunkering issues. Yeah, the youth are supposed to go that kind. It's also affecting them. It's also a damage to their lives. So why must we go and do bunkering? But just because you did not see that transparent and sincere in what the so-called federal government and some leaders are doing in that environment, that result to what the youth now involve themselves in. So I think we have said several times the government should also look for a modular refinery in a very close environment for them, because this is their resources. So I really think the problem of that bunkering or pipeline this thing is as a result of insincerity and transparency that result to that problem.
All right. At this point, we'll, of course, go on a quick break. And when we return, we will switch gears to look at it also from a political perspective, the government of Rivers State, and how all of the politics within the state is playing out, if at all, maybe even has some sort of connection in shifting the tides and making it better there. Stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. Of course, it's still Politics HQ on News Central Television. Now, let's, of course, switch gears slightly. Let's talk about recent developments in Rivers State, where the Supreme Court actually did make some rulings on, as regards the House, the 27 lawmakers which, allegedly defected. There's been a ruling that they are still members of the House. The governor of the state should represent the budget to the complete House, amongst a list of other issues. I still have my guest with me, Dighi Mathew, the National President of the Indigenous Youth Council of Ogoni People, and also Bedford Berefa, spokesperson for Ijaw Youth Council Worldwide. Let me come to you, Bedford, and ask, what do you make of the recent developments we are seeing at the Rivers State House, where the Supreme Court has finally laid to rest some lingering issues?
All right, thank you very much. Just to make a point, the Supreme Court, the issue of legitimacy of those 27 lawmakers is still pending before a competent court. It has not gotten to the Supreme Court to say that allocation should be withheld and that the local government election is cancelled, hereby cancelled. That is what is causing an uproar. However, I want to say that the 27 lawmakers, if they really are friends or the people that are representing their constituency, they should be very careful, because this is what I have said before. This justice system or this pronouncement is capable of causing a breakdown of law and order. As I'm talking to you, there are agitations here and there. We receive calls here and there. People will have to be calming the nerves of youth as youth leaders. Peace is golden, and we must protect peace at all costs. Several agitations here and there, and my phones have been buzzing to say that we want to start protesting and all of that. 48 hours is being given. They don't have right to give 48 hours. People are emotional. They are emotion raising up. The conscience of the people are being disturbed, and I can tell you for free, if this issue is not taken care of.
I'm sorry, you said your phone. You said your phone has been buzzing.
And if it leads to the breakdown of law and order, I can tell you for free that the oil output in Rivers State will dwindle drastically, and it will affect the economy of this nation. So this is a very, 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 very sexy matter, so to say. It's a matter that is very fragile, and it must be handled so stricto to ensure that justice, the conscience.
Okay, so I want to ask you, Berefa, you said your phone has been buzzing with people clamoring for agitation. Is it for or against this ruling?
Pro-Fubara guys are agitating. There is so much agitation. People are saying that, we are going to burst pipelines and all of that. As youth leader, as Ijaw youth leader, our duty is to ensure that there is peace because that we don't want the Niger Delta to be thrown back to the era of militancy. And I can tell you for free, if this is an issue that is like a bullet waiting to be shot, waiting for the trigger, for it to be triggered, that I can tell you for free. And so there is urgent need for collaboration. The 27 lawmakers must see reasons. They must put the peace of River States. It must come first before any other person. The Rivers people, the Rivers peace that is being enjoyed must come first. And so they must look at this other, that's why the judgment went the way it went. But of course, who am I, a mere mortal like me, to question the judgment passed down by the Supreme Court? What I'm saying is that there is a palpable, there is tension brewing everywhere. And this matter must be handled technically to avoid any form of uproar. You can see, you can hear the two statements, from the the lawmakers are saying, the speaker, Amrowele is saying that present budget for 48 hours. If you don't project budget for 48 hours, whatever you see, you take. You can see people now saying that I'm afraid of nothing. The only thing that can happen is that I'll lose my seat. However, youth, get ready, be prepared, and with that, something drastic may be, something is cooking. And if a dialogue is not, the instrument of dialogue is not initiated, I can tell you for free that I'm not a prophet of doom. But I can tell you for free that the tension is brewing every now and then. Something important. The federal government, the president of this federation.
Mr. Berefa, if you can hear me, let me come in here. Let me interrupt you a bit. Let me interrupt you a bit if you can hear me, because I'd like to also bring in Dighi Mathew to speak on this. But before then, let's listen to the reaction of the governor of the state, that's Sim Fubara, and also the reaction of some other notable figures as regards this matter. Stay with us.
People of River State, we are all aware of the recent Supreme Court judgment and the pronouncement regarding aspects of the lingering political disputes in our dear state. Although we disagree with the judgment, we are bound to obey the order made therein as a law-abiding government. Since inception, we have conducted the affair of government within the framework of our Constitution, due process, and the rule of law. While we are not above mistakes, because we are humans, we believe that we have not, as a government, done anything deliberately to trample on the rule of law or the hallowed principles of constitutional governance. Accordingly, I've had a meeting with my team of lawyers, and they have assured me that the certified true copy of the judgment may be available to them by Friday, the 7th March of 2025. I assure you that upon the receipt of certified judgment, we shall study the ramification and implement them without reservation to move the state forward. Furthermore, given the outlawing of caretaker arrangements in the local government system, I hereby direct Head of Local Government Administration to immediately take over the administration of the 23 local government council, pending the conduct of a fresh election by the River State Independent Electoral Commission. I further direct that the outgoing local government chairman formally hand over to the Head of Local Government Administration by Monday, the 3rd of March 2025. Although our dear state seems to be back in trying time, I urge everyone to remain calm and peacefully go about with their legitimate daily activity as we continue to do everything in our power to advance our responsibility to the citizen. Thank you, and may God bless River State.
All our supporters, I know The news that broke that on Friday must have dampened your spirit. Days up, what is ahead is more than what we just passed. So, as a human being, I know you feel somehow, but just relax. God has our back. Our back is not on anybody, it's God. I want to thank you for your support and assure you that if there is one person on this planet Earth that will continue to stand by you, I will be that person. I assure you that I will lead you with honor. I will lead you with respect. And I will lead you with integrity. Knowing that when I leave here, I will have questions to answer. If I'm called upon 20 years, 30 years from today, I want to be proud to defend my position. So I thank you and assure you that I will not disappoint you.
I mean, that's the governor of Rivers State, Simfu Bara, reacting to the court judgment on the matters that have been lingering in the state for some time. We had to just play those videos back to back, a recent statement by the governor of the state. Now, I still have my guest with me. Let me bring you in, Dighi Mathew. You had the governor of Rivers State speak, and he sounded very optimistic in spite of the court ruling. What's your take?
Yeah, let me just say something as a son of Rivers State. What is happening in Rivers State, we are all aware, but my fear that I see in this situation right now, which I will not hide to cruise it out, is that what the governor has said is a non-violent approach to what has happened in Rivers State. But I always have this sense of belonging that where there is no violence, there will always be violence in respect of what has happened in Rivers State by the Supreme Court judgment. But in my own case, in my own capacity, I wanted to just know one particular thing that triggered to this situation we are finding ourselves now. This state has suffered so much of different violence, right from the time of Amechi, the House of Assembly was breakdown, a lot of things happened, and it still repeats itself again as a history. And that is where I'm looking what will be the next thing that's going to happen in Rivers State. All those things the governor is saying, as I said initially, is a normal speech as a governor, which is not a violent person. But I'm still saying it as a human being, where there is no violence, there may be violence in respect of his own approach and in an opponent approach. But for me, I'm only asking myself as a Rivers State son, why all these things happening? What is happening in this Rivers State politics? What is going wrong? If the State House Assembly member, which is 27 as I know, were elected as a member of PDP in this state, including with the governor of the state, how come about that this story that linger all over the state, that they have become to APC and result to this problem we are trying to face? I will not shy away from this situation I'm saying right now, because from Rivers State, I've experienced different type of killing on young youth that have died in this state since 2015 to this day. I can say without fear of threat. So what really happened that day in House of Assembly, where that flag of APC was all over the house? What really happened in Polo Club? What really happened where the former governor said it clearly?
Of purpose. Yesterday we spoke to the APC Publicity Secretary of Rivers State, and he said the APC is not even aware of the reception of these lawmakers, and that they are not members of their party. So, I mean, what does this reflect?
It you see, if you carefully listen to me, I'm only asking them, because there are mystic power that people use to manipulate people. That's where I'm looking up to right now. Whatever the APC man is saying or the APC spokesman is saying now, I'm trying to make him to understand that it's a result of normal young man like us. Sometimes when we talk to our fiancé or our guest, we always say that I love you, you are the best sugar of my heart. But in my heart, I hate her to the best of my knowledge. I know you understand my logic right now. Now, what he's trying to say right now, it might be to his own way, but a lot he's saying is not mine. If you carefully listen to me, I am asking this question to all of them. What really happened? Because I know one APC member did not want any election in that 32 seats in that House of Assembly. I don't think so. I only to know that the House of Assembly was destroyed by 4 or 5 House of Assembly members against 27 House of Assembly members sometime in that Rivers State. I could remember that, which also similarly happened in that of Amechi time and that of Wike time. I could understand that one. So I don't know whether history is repeating itself again. That is my fear.
Okay.
And now, something also happened in Polo Club, where then the acting, or will I say the acting APC chairman, was also there at Polo Club, as a respect of I'm receiving them as a member of APC or so, whatever they can put it, because they're all members of PDP. That's where I'm trying to focus on this issue that's happening in Rivers State. And second time again, I'm saying at the third time, that the outgoing governor, which is the former governor of Rivers State, which is Chief Yeso Wike, in his speech, he said that they did not tell him before they decamped to APC. That was his own speech. So I don't really know where this problem is coming from right now in respect of the Supreme Court judgment. I don't know where it's coming from.
I think your point there has been established, but let's project and look into the future quickly before we go. Is this in any way looking good for the governor? Even though the governor has said that he is not afraid of anything, and there are rumors that there might be an impeachment, process against the governor. Rumors, but is this in any way looking good for Governor Fubara? Is he at any vantage point in all of this at all?
If there are certain things I want the Rivers State people to know, the governor is like, you talk about the government, talk about the people, by the people, and for the people. The governor has his own people who believe in him, who believe in his own orientation, who believe in his own philosophy, how I can put it like that. Because as I said there clearly, similar this thing that happened 2015 is tend to repeat itself again. Like the 30th time I remember the former governor of Rivers State, when the matter wanted to happen in sometime in Supreme Court, and he traveled from Abuja to Rivers State. He said, if the INEC should sign their will before coming to Rivers State to conduct election, something like that, it's because of the masses who believe in him that wanted to do what he wanted to do. And I also listened carefully with the governor of Rivers State. He has said this somewhere, which I will make it clear, that when the actual time will come, he will tell the Rivers State people what to do. I don't understand that kind of thing now. Then, I am trying to say it now, as a youth leader, as an activist, that what is trying to happen in Rivers State, which we go to pray to God not to allow danger to happen in Rivers State. Because if you are trying to convince me that the governor has accepted what the Supreme Court says, then the so-called House of Assembly will not say they give the governor 48 hours. Okay, if they say they give him 48 hours and nothing happened in that 40, what will be the result? No, what will be the result? So they should not convince us, they should not deceive us, and they should not cause any hierarchy in this state again. If they cause any hierarchy, they will not run to anywhere. We will all die in Rivers State together. It's very bad, it's very painful, it's very annoying. You people are responsible House of Assembly member or responsible citizen in this state. I'd ask this my 3 questions I asked. Let them go and find out. What happened in House of Assembly that resulted that APC flag in the House of Assembly? What happened in Polo Club? This is a situation why the governor and some people who believe in him are using it as a case study against them. And that's where the problem is coming from. And if the Supreme Court have given their own judgment today, and I'm thinking that they should consider this situation as a matter of urgency.
All right.
Whether they can declare state of emergency in that state, I don't really know.
Okay.
But I wish them the best.
Dighi Mathew, let me leave you for now. Let me just quickly take Berefa's point of thought on this. Quickly, with what is happening in Rivers State, just like I asked Mathew, does Governor Sim Fubara have a vantage point anywhere with this recent development? What does the future look like for him politically?
Well, he has said with boldness, without fear, he has been saying it and he keeps saying it, that he is there as God's anointed. We all know how all of this is playing out. It's upon the demise of our patriarch, Paklak, that after that demise, this judgment came. But I can assure you the governor of Rivers State is a strong character. He's a man who is very strong, who is very, very strong and powerful. And he's not just representing himself as the governor, he's the people's governor. He's a governor that the people recommend and the people recognize. The people can go all out for him. And I can tell you, I will say, it is beyond the governor. Him is a man of peace. He's a man of peace. That is his disposition. He has said he is not afraid of losing his seats, because that is where all of this is gearing towards. But I can tell you, if that happened, Rivers State will not be the same. I can tell you for free, it will not be the same. Because this is a man that, and you know, in a democracy, the people is the conscience of democracy. Democracy is not the man that is in power. Democracy is the people, belongs to the people that place you in power. And I can tell you for free that the people are galvanizing. The people are initiating processes of protest and all of that. We are waiting for the 48 hours. Like I said, the Ijaw Youth is to clamor for peace. The man is a man of peace. However, a man of that character should not be taken for granted. Because a man that is already on the floor, fear no more fall. You cannot threaten a man, a grown-up man that has the red pen. You cannot threaten him. Look like he has said. When in his speech he said, I hereby direct, exercising his executive powers. Some other person that said, you don't have such right to now say the local caretaker government, the local government chairman should step aside. They are making a caricature of all of this, and Rivers people are watching. Rivers people are watching. And when the time comes, I can tell you for free, it may be out of control.
All right.
It's not the Ijaw Youth Council that wants to cause problem. It's not the Ijaw Youth Council that wants to go to the streets. But Rivers people are bothered about the soul of Rivers State, as it were.
All right. Thank you so much, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure. Bedford Berefa is the spokesperson for the Ijaw Youth Council Worldwide, joined virtually from Bayelsa State. And also Dighi Mathew is the national president of the Indigenous Youth Council of Ogoni people, also joining virtually from Rivers. Gentlemen, once again, it's a pleasure. Thank you for your time.